Welcome into the Nashville Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Jill Jelnick. Here in the state of Tennessee, we love racing. There is no question about it. Whether it's the Cracker Barrel 400, the Bass Pro Shops night race over in Bristol, or the classic traditional Food City 500, we love our racing here in Tennessee. And we also love the #1 Chevy driver for Trackhouse Racing, Ross Chastain. Ross, thank you so much for joining us during your busy NASCAR season. Truck Series, you're racing as well. We just had the Tennessee Takeover here in Nashville. Thanks for swinging by and jumping on the podcast.
You really had to twist my arm to come sit down in an air-conditioned room on a comfy couch and just talk about myself. Yeah, yes. This is really,
twist my arm.
You really used a lot of points here.
Yeah, the only thing I don't have for you is a nice cold beer, but I did get you a water, so we'll just have to settle for that. No, seriously, this is always such a busy time of the year for drivers, and I appreciate it when you guys make the effort and the time to go out of your way, even though you're racing in just a couple days, whatever the next race is, right? You go out of your way to talk to the media, to be with the community. And I think that's why you have quickly become a Nashville game changer over the years, right? Especially since your 2023 win, the LA 400 win at the Nashville Superspeedway. You have connected with the Music City more than a lot of the other drivers. And I really appreciate that.
It's selfishly on purpose, very intentional. I like country music. I grew up listening to FM radio as a kid. My dad had CDs. I remember he bought a new truck and it came with like a 6 CD like unit down below the seat. You could load in 6, so you had all this range of country music. We had all this so many more CDs at one time to slide through and pick. And then whenever I first came to Nashville, I fell in love with the city. And when I was signing with Trackhouse, Justin Marks, our team owner, he still lives over here just south of Nashville and raising his family with his wife and 2 girls. And I asked him before we got all the way to the end, but I was like, if we do this, do I need to get an apartment? Do I need to look at a house? Like, how much time am I going to be over there? And he said, I don't think you need to. You can just get a hotel when you go over there. You'll be over there, or you can stay with us at the house, whatever. But no, I don't think it's going to be that much. And I exhaled. I was like, good. I don't know if I could survive. I think if I lived here, I would evolve, and I wouldn't always be out as late as I am when I come over here. But when I come over here, it's just infrequent enough that I'm kind of foot on the gas when I get here.
Foot on the gas, and then enough time to recover in between trips to Nashville, right?
That's right. Definitely more foot on the gas, more gas used after the race, Sunday nights, after the Cup race.
I like that. You've always been so friendly and also so open about how much you love Nashville country music, Broadway, right? You went to Broadway after your big Cup Series win in 2023. You went to Tootsie's. You just kind of made your way along Broadway, didn't you?
Well, that night was Tootsie's only.
Tootsie's only.
Yeah, Steve Smith was at the race with us, so he said, we're going to Tootsie's. I said, yes, sir. We kept the plane here. The pilots stayed overnight because the team flies together. We have like a 55-passenger plane that a lot of us fly on, and so the mechanics, engineers, pit crew got to stay, and we went to our hotel rooms to shower and then go to the airport the next morning. We were down on Broadway late, and we celebrated because winning in Nashville meant a lot. It means a lot to us. It's where Justin first got the idea of the Cup team on a whiteboard and first kind of got it laid out from what he had in his mind onto the wall to start seeing who he needed to hire, to see who he needed, who did he need to partner with. And Tootsie's was one of the original sponsors of the team long before I even drove for him.
Yeah, it does have so many ties with Trackhouse and Justin, like you said. I have to imagine that 2023 win here in Nashville was a big one for you personally too, for that reason, those ties.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to that time period, we had won early in 22. We had won at Coda and Talladega in the spring. And then we didn't win the rest of the year, and we didn't win the start of 23, and it was that summer race out here in the Superspeedway that we won. And yeah, we drove past 2 really good cars, the 11 and 19 car that night, and they probably don't even remember the race, but I do because we won. So we drove past them, took the lead and won, held them off. So it was that was a big moment for us as a team to get back to victory lane the next year, because it could have been a fluke the first 2 races. We wanted a road course and a super speedway, and although the Nashville Superspeedway is a 1.3 mile concrete, it's a very unique track. There's no other place like it. It's a traditional oval, and winning on that was big for my confidence as a NASCAR driver. We primarily race on round oval tracks that have banking.
And another unique part about that race, you get the beautiful custom-made Gibson guitar trophy. No other race has a guitar or anything like that, for that matter, when you win. And I know you still have yours. Have you played a little bit on that Gibson guitar trophy?
No, I haven't.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Yeah, it's an electric guitar. I don't have anything to plug it into. I've looked at it. I actually just moved it from Trackhouse. It was in the lobby, and moved it out to my barn at my house, and hung it on the wall there. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I gotta ask somebody what I need to order, so that when someone is here and we're out in the barn hanging out, I build a little hangout room in there, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to plug into it. I like put my thumb across the strings, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what. This is so sad that I know nothing about it.
You are an expert in driving cars, not playing guitars. How about that?
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
That needs to be a t-shirt. There is a great picture of me on the roof of the car, and it looks like I am jamming out. I'm singing in the picture, but I'm really not.
How about this for a question? Since we're in Nashville, home to a plethora of wonderful country music stars. If you could get any country music star to come teach you guitar, who would it be?
That's tough. I don't know. I'd have to phone a friend to ask somebody who I should ask. Who do you think I should?
I'm thinking of some of the great, songwriters, but also entertainers and guitar players, right? Luke Combs comes to mind. I think Blake Shelton would be a great teacher, right? He does a lot with young artists. I'm trying to think I'm trying to think if we recently had anyone here at Fox 17 country music wise, but I think you could, and honestly, you could probably just walk down the street in Nashville.
Probably. That probably is what I should do. I should just walk in somewhere and ask somebody playing, will you play this and tune it and then show me how to play something?
How about Lainey Wilson? We were, just at her bar, the Bell Bottoms Up. I love that place. And she's definitely a wonderful entertainer. I bet she could teach you a thing or two.
See, my problem is I have too much respect for all these people to take their time to try to show me, because I'm not going to put the actual work in. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm 33. I know who I am. I remember thinking as a kid I wanted to learn to play the guitar when I was 8 years old. Yeah. It didn't happen then, and it dang sure ain't going to happen now.
That's fair. You got a lot of other things to worry about, including that Cracker Barrel 400 coming up May 31st here in Nashville. You mentioned it earlier, how unique the track is, that 1.3 concrete oval. Obviously, that is what makes it stand out from other races, but how would you describe the type of race that traditionally is compared to others because of that uniqueness, because of the concrete oval?
Yeah, we usually start in the afternoon with sun still shining on the racetrack, which concrete reacts less volatile than asphalt. It's a lighter color, so it has less heat inherently. The concrete doesn't change grip level as much with shade or like a cloud going over it or rubber going down. It doesn't change as much, in my opinion, as asphalt. But when the sun goes down, it does change some. And when we won, we were sliding around. And as soon as the sun wasn't shining on the track, that lap, I gained grip. And I've wondered back, was it mental? Like, I was waiting on the sun to go down. We had talked about, we thought we would be better when the sun went down. But I swear, like, I was over in turn 4 and it was in my eyes. And then finally it wasn't in turn 4. So when I got to turn 2, that was where it had been shining on the track. And I had grip, and I was like, I don't know if it can cool off enough in like 10 seconds. I don't think concrete can change that much, but something about the sunlight hitting it, maybe the oils and the rubber on top. We go through a big evolution of the track throughout the day of the race, and unless we start at night, then it doesn't change as much. But a lot of brake pressure. We're using the middle pedal. We have the gas on the right, brake in the middle, clutch on the left. And that we don't get that at these 1.5-mile tracks that Nashville looks like, but it is shorter and flatter in the corners. So you've seen brake issues in the past. We just had a rash of brake failures at Phoenix recently in the last Cup race at Phoenix this year. So wouldn't be surprised if we got there and we had people exploding rotors, popping tires, all the stuff we've been seeing. But we definitely know what we need. I know what the car needs to feel like because I felt it in 23. And so if we can replicate that, we'll have a shot.
Is it also a race in a track where you can up the power, that 750 horsepower? Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
More cowbell.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a race car driver. Like when I push the gas, I want to feel it. I want to be pushed back in the seat and the tires spinning. And so, we're stepping, I think, in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that's going to be the best for the one team. We might be better with lower horsepower, but I think over time it will be a better show. And then if we get our car good with more power, we'll be able to pass people. But we were able to pass in the past. We were able to pass past races and with less power. But we'll see if it's handling good. You can go forward.
You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with NASCAR driver Ross Chastain. We'll be right back after this. Ross, you alluded to it earlier, but Nashville is a place where it's rooted with racing history, but it's been capricious over the last couple decades. It went away. You were at the last race here before the Speedway went away in 2011, and then it had that long break and then came back several years ago in full force. When you think of the history of this city and racing, how would you describe it?
Yeah, I do want to touch on that. I was just in the pits with the 66 truck team. Turn 1 Racing is what it was called. And Justin Marks was driving his final race of the year for that team. He had sponsorship through GoPro, the cameras, and that was his last race, and I was getting in the next race a few weeks later at Indianapolis at IRP. And so I just remember watching, and Aaron, his wife, was sad that it was his last race, and Justin was wishing the year had went better, and we talked, and he ended up letting me use his seats, and I ended up paying them. There's a great story of me he said, yeah, come by the house on Tuesday, and you can pay me for the seats. So I had an envelope of cash to buy racing seats from him that were in the trucks, and he didn't tell Aaron I was coming. So I show up with an envelope, and his wife did not know why I was there. And I don't know if she even remembered me. And I had to explain a little bit. And she said, well, if Justin said it, I'll take it. And we've laughed about it since. But yeah, we got to watch that. And then, it went off the schedule. And now coming back online, we raced there in 21 with the old car. And we finished second with Chip Ganassi Racing, and then came back and won the race in 23. But I don't know enough about the history, but I've learned from Justin and the Marks family living over here. But then Steve Smith at Tootsie's, part of that group, he grew up and he could hear the race cars at the Nashville Fairgrounds. So getting to know him, and I've ran a pro late model out there at the fairgrounds, and he sponsored it, and he came out and hung out, and he was telling me stories of his childhood and going to the race, like seeing the races and loving the races. And so he's a big supporter and promoter of that, and going to be a big promoter when the Cars Tour comes. Dale Jr.'s coming to race that. So that's big. I think that's great. I could see our Clash for the Cup cars going there one day. It's needs some work for sure. Like, it needs a lot of infrastructure, but we do it at the Bowman Gray track in Winston-Salem. We've done it at the LA Coliseum out in Los Angeles. Like, that Clash race is such a unique thing that we can kind of mold that into whatever we want, and the fairgrounds would be a great racetrack. We can get past all the other stuff. I mean, in LA, we're in neighborhoods basically. Yeah. I mean, there are parking lots, but I mean, people will walk from their houses and come over, and they could do the same thing out at the fairgrounds. So, I think that the potential there is big. I know there's a lot of houses. I know there's a lot of a lot of growth that's happened in that area.
Mhm.
But that racetrack was there long before all that stuff. So
that racetrack was there. Fairgrounds were there first,
For
and
sure.
they certainly like to remind us of that. I think it feels like Nashville, especially with the growth over the last 10 years, the Speedway coming back on track. It seems like Nashville is a city that could have 2 races, right? I mean, Bristol, of course, has the night race, has the Food City 500. Why not Nashville?
Yep. I think you could definitely start with the Clash. I think that's a very logical way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I also think New Smyrna down in Florida could have it. I'm a little biased to that one because I'm a Florida boy, and New Smyrna kind of winning there changed my dad's thoughts about what my career could be, and together we decided to go chase the NASCAR Truck Series after that. So getting to go back there in a cup car would be wild in that Clash. I think what Ben Kennedy and the France family and the league of NASCAR have molded that into, it can be kind of boxed up and taken anywhere.
Yeah.
And we've proven we can do street courses, and we can do all these different things. So we're a very moldable series right now, I feel like.
It as sport, it's incredible to see the evolution of it, right? Where it started from decades ago to where it is now, and the fan base has evolved with it too. Do you feel like you're seeing the fan base and the typical NASCAR fan evolve more, whether it's younger kids, different types of sports fans? Do you feel like the fan base has grown with the sport?
I think as human beings, we're always learning and finding new things to get excited about. I see Busch Light people drinking Busch Light, and they were drinking Busch Light long before me, and they're going to be drinking it long after I get done driving the car. So, yeah, I don't know. I was that kid in the stands. I was a fan buying infield passes, my family buying me infield passes when I was a kid to go down and into the fan zone in Daytona and like wait at the window and try to get a piece off the cars. And now I'm on the other side signing. So really, really neat to, have lived childhood where I had no intentions of being a race car driver. We never even talked about me driving competitively as a kid until I was 12. And then we did it right at the end of when I was 12 years old in 2005, and then fell in love with the hobby of racing. I was really bad at soccer, so needed to find something I could sit down at.
No career there. No future career
in
soccer. Okay, that's fair.
Knew that early on.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the work ethic to get better either. So I work physically way harder now than I ever did when I was competing as a kid in soccer. So fell in love with racing, and then still didn't have a plan to make it a career, but eventually the right things happened. And then I decided, okay, there's enough smoke here. Let's see if we can fan it a little bit and get a fire going. And it's, we haven't stopped. It's hard to put into words sometimes, like what we've accomplished. And I say we, because I have a lot of people that helped get me here to the Cup Series, to be a driver for Trackhouse and to continue to try to compete at this level through Truck, O'Reilly, and the Cup Series. It was a long time coming, but it was never planned from the start.
And it took a group, a village to get you there and across that finish line. Stay with us. You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with the #1 Chevy driver for Trackhouse Racing, Ross Chastain. We'll be right back after this. Ross, you said it was never your dream initially growing up, and I know that watermelon has a place in your childhood as well as an 8th generation watermelon farmer. Okay, take me through the watermelon to the racetrack.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born into ag, so son of a farmer, grandson of a farmer. That's what my family has done, and they've settled on watermelons as being what we're good at, what we think we're good at. So we work with 30 family farms across the country and can sell watermelons year-round. So we're really proud of that we can, send watermelons out across the country year-round, not just from our farm, but from other family farms. And then when I got into racing, that's where the funding came from. Like, racing costs money. It's just how it's always been from the very time, whatever day and time they built the second car and they decided to race it. it cost money if you wanted to win. Like you had to, pay for the gas or buy a new tire, this or that. So we leveraged our relationships with people in the ag industry. So early on, you saw a lot of my race cars were watermelon themed race cars because the companies that were sponsoring it were really sponsoring it because of the farm relationship, but they needed people to buy more watermelons, and a rising tide raises all ships. So that's where my start came from. And then I thought if I ever won, I wanted to shine a light on ag. So I wanted to hold a watermelon up in victory lane. But I didn't think of what to do after because I didn't think I would ever win. I started in 2011 in the Truck Series, and we didn't win until 2018 in a sport that rewards winning, in a sport that your guys and the guys older than me are winning when I get there, and then guys my age start winning a few years in, and then guys younger than me come in and start winning, and I'm older and I'm supposed to be winning by now, and I wasn't. I wasn't with the good teams. Definitely wasn't there as a driver. I was not ready to win early in my career. And so in Las Vegas in 2018, I held it up, set it down, carried it around for like an hour. And somebody in the media center asked what I was going to do with it. And I said, I don't know, probably bust it open and eat it. And they asked if they could film it. And the tradition was born.
And just like that, yeah, the 8th generation watermelon farmer continues his success.
That's right. I think if somebody's walking by a TV in a bar or restaurant, or you're at home and you're watching it and okay, a new guy, Ross wins. Okay, new guy. We talked through this before I ever won. And it's like, how do you get their attention? Like, okay, how do you do a burnout? You get out, you're excited. Okay, everybody's excited to win. What can you do different? And it was very intentional to have that watermelon there. And I spent a lot of years stopping. We'd have like a good practice session or something in the years before we won, good qualifying effort. And I'd be like, driving to the track on race day, and I'd pull into a grocery store and buy a watermelon. I'm like, oh, this is it. Here we go. And lose again, lose a whole nother year. You
have to get somebody else to buy that watermelon for you, so it's not super, a little superstitious if you're buying it.
I didn't always buy it. The teams would buy it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not superstitious in that way. I don't have good lucky socks or lucky underwear. I just But I was intentional about what I was going to do when I won, and feel like that the work ethic from the farm is what ultimately got me there, because a lot of people I raced against, they might have even won a few races, but they're gone. Like it didn't work out. They didn't want to keep doing it. They didn't get the right opportunities they wanted, so they packed up and left town. And racing is a lot like music, where you move to around Mooresville, North Carolina, or just north of Charlotte in North Carolina, just like Nashville, and you've got to move there. You have to commit to it. You have to network and meet the right people and keep knocking on doors and push doors open, and you're going to get told no a lot. And I did that for a lot of years.
This might sound crazy, but in many ways, I feel like that watermelon is symbolic of your driving journey, right? Who you are, where you came from, the hard work you put in. It's symbolic of the agriculture life that your family, made their bread and butter on, and really grew up surrounding and put their roots surrounding. And I think it's really cool to have something that is your own, to make yourself as a professional athlete unique in your sport. You're the only one in your sport, and as far as I'm concerned, all other sports too. No one has a watermelon that is attached to their career like yours is for you. I just think it's really cool, and I love how deeply rooted you are with your family, your upbringing, your culture, who you are as a driver.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're still involved, so. I thought I was going to be like my dad and my granddad and all the Chastains before me and be a farmer. I followed in my dad's footsteps at an early age. I would walk in the field, and it's a very dry sand that we grow watermelons in. Watermelon plants will go find moisture where other plants won't, so they can pull more moisture out of the same soil than another piece of fruit or vegetable or other plants. So the sand's very dry. It leaves your boot print, tire track, whatever, animal track. So I can remember like stepping in my dad's boot prints. I had those black rubber boots with orange bottoms. That's what I wore as a kid every day. And I remember jumping and I was like, I'm in my dad's footsteps. And I look back, I was like, oh man, I didn't know what that meant. But we're still in it. My brother is stepping into that role. He's a few years younger than me. My dad still has watermelons in the ground right now, went through 2 rounds of two freezes that came through and wiped out most of his crops. So he's replanted twice. We've got watermelons we're importing from Guatemala. We've got watermelons just about ready to harvest in Immokalee, a little bit south of us in Florida. So watermelons in the ground in Georgia, getting ready. The watermelons for the Carolinas are growing in the greenhouse. So definitely still involved. And now my job is to try to talk about it, promote it, help sell. I'm going to be racing in the Food City 500. We sell watermelons to Food City. I spend time with the Food City produce buyer. The racetrack is a great spot to build those relationships. And then for us, it ties back selfishly to the family business. Yeah. And we sell watermelons because we race. And I'm not saying we probably can never sell enough watermelons to pay for those early days of my racing, but we're trying.
And it certainly comes full circle with your career.
Like a watermelon.
Just like a I'm telling you, the watermelon is symbolic of so much of your life, Ross. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm geeking out. I wore red to match the watermelon vibe anyway, so there you go.
And I appreciate the red over the pink. So a lot of times people go green and pink, and I'm like, I like red.
Watermelon is red.
I like a red, like a
the
bright
best
red
watermelons?
flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The right watermelon is red, not pink.
I mean, the inside, like the heart, right in the middle, the little center section, the heart can be a lighter red, pink, but I like red.
Okay, duly noted. Got that. Before we let you go, this has been so much fun, and I've learned so much, and I feel like we could continue talking forever, but I want to finish with in my opinion segment. Give you a chance to go full free range, whatever you want to talk about, whether you want to rant about something or just what's on your mind. And it doesn't have to be about racing or watermelon, but of course it could. What is your opinion, Ross?
Oh gosh, I'm going to stick to what I know. I don't want to talk outside of my wheelhouse.
Well, let's see. That's okay.
In my opinion, seeded watermelons are better.
Why?
When we grow them, they tend to be the genetics for a seeded watermelon tend to be a bigger, longer, more oblong watermelon. And when we sell those watermelons, we sell them at the same price as the seedless. So seedless, you get a couple pounds less watermelon. They're several inches shorter end to end, but you don't have the seeds. You don't have to mess with spitting the seeds out. The Brix level, the sugar content in a seeded watermelon tends to be more often than not sweeter, a higher Brix number. So you get a sweeter watermelon. The flesh usually is a little softer, little more sugary to bite into, where a seedless can be firmer with most varieties that we grow. So in my opinion, if I had to pick at the grocery store, I would go for the more pounds of watermelon for the same price. I'd get more bang for my buck.
With the seeds.
I'll deal with the seeds and have a sweeter watermelon sometimes. So, but you put them side by side. In my life, most of my life, it's been like 90% of the sales would go to the seedless, 10% would go to the seeded. If you put them side by side, same watermelon, seedless the seeded would be bigger, same price. Actually, if you break it down like price per ounce or price per, split it down to the penny, you'd be getting a better deal for the seeded, but they do not sell. We're seeing a slight shift. We're seeing more seeded selling in the grocery store. I'm going to say 5% maybe. Small, but anything when you look at it across the country, that any percent, if you can measure it, I feel like that's big. So, sign me up for I've been on the seeded hype train my whole life. I catch a lot of flack because our business revolves around mainly seedless, and I'll eat some seedless watermelon, but A seed does not scare me.
Choice, yes, all in on the seeds. Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever thought about it before.
When you buy grapes, do you buy seedless?
I do buy seedless grapes.
I buy seedless grapes.
Yeah,
I don't want to mess with the seeds in a grape. It's too many. The ratio's off.
Yeah, well, and the grapes are just so much smaller. I tend to take like handfuls.
Same.
And yeah, the grapes I could go. But watermelon, I really don't mind the seeds at all. And I probably even I'm thinking back to when I was younger, I probably even like ate the seeds and didn't spit them out.
Did you ever hear the old story of what would happen?
What's the old story?
If you swallowed a watermelon seed.
Then a watermelon will grow inside you. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Think I remember that. And I probably was freaked out at a younger age. But growing up in outdoors and sports in California, I was always softball field, soccer field. We always had snacks, and watermelon was one of my favorite snacks. It was easy for the moms to, buy one, maybe two watermelons, chop it up and have it for the kids ready to go. And so when I think of snacks in childhood, I do think of watermelon, and I do think of the seeds inside it. So I am appreciative of the Chastain family and your long history of watermelons. It's one of those sweet things you definitely take for granted growing up.
You do, and I think the seeds take me back to my childhood. I think it does for a lot of people that grew up eating seeded watermelon, which were more prevalent 30 years ago before the seedless came fully online. Best bang for your buck in the produce section. Like price per ounce, not going to be a better deal for any fruit or vegetable, because the watermelon industry is very confused on what we are. We don't know for a fruit or a vegetable.
Gotcha.
We're like both, but I don't know. We grow on a vine, but anyway,
that's another opinion.
I don't even know. Even the smart, like the seed scientists and seed salesmen and women, they'll start telling me about diploids and triploids and what it means. And I'm like, you're not helping answer my question. No. Is it a fruit or vegetable? And they don't answer it.
Yeah, exactly. The seeds, proceeds is much simpler. I like that.
Yeah. And then the opposite of that, I just have to ask, it's on this produce section of the grocery store conversation.
Right.
What is the deal with these berries, mainly like raspberries and blackberries? You get this little carton.
Oh,
for like $5.
Yeah.
What is
and then if it's organic, it's gonna be another $2. So it's like $7, $8. It's even that
$7 for that little plastic shell, or you for $7 or $5.99, $6.99, $5.99, you can get a whole watermelon. I'm like, we are doing something wrong here.
Yeah, why not go with the watermelon? You get so much bang for your buck.
Imagine if you walked in and there was like sliced watermelon, like little cubes the size of a raspberry in those trays, and we were charging $7. People would laugh us out of the store.
Well, you might be able to find one of those fancy grocery stores and see that happen, but not where we go to. Let's just say that. That's fair.
Like Food City.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Go to Food City, get yourself a nice big watermelon, right? And then go out to the track at Bristol Motor Speedway and catch yourself some racing. That is how we do it. Yeah. That's how we do it. Ross, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Yeah. Love following your career. We've always loved you here in Nashville. Your support for the Music City has been endless, and we really appreciate how much you've done for the sport, for us, for the Superspeedway, everything you do. Thank you for being a Nashville Game Changer, and thank you to the Chastain and the Chastain family for your support with watermelon and the most delicious fruit. There you go.
Yep. Remember, I'm not the farmer.
Yes,
I'm the son of a farmer.
Yes,
but yeah, proud to be coming back to race here across Tennessee all year long.
Good luck with Food City 500 coming up April 12th, and then of course the Cracker Barrel 400 coming up at the end of May. Best of luck. We'll be cheering for you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for our new guest. And as always, be sure to check us out on social media and YouTube. And when you're there, please like and subscribe.